Hello, this is my Mario Kart 8 review. Now, unlike many of my other reviews where I focus on graphics, gameplay, story, and, the good and the bad with spoilers, there are no real spoilers in this game and there's no real story. So instead, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're just going to go for the good, the bad, and the ugly, um, in which we'll tackle the actual gameplay, the good, the bad, any little nitpicks I may have, and the ugly, the graphics. Um, these are just title placards. These don't necessarily hint at what the content of these parts will be. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Okay then, let's get into it. As the title placard said, this is the good. We'll be talking about the gameplay. And basically, the gameplay of this game can be summed up in one word: fun. Um, the difficulty level, just from the AI, starts out relatively easy at 50 cc's, then gets to medium at 100 cc's, and then gets downright brutal at 150 cc's. If you find yourself having a little difficulty with the AI at the track, there's some tips that I can leave you at the end of this video to kind of help you get 60 points on every in every Grand Prix 4-track tournament in the game, cup, whatever. But gameplay wise, the game is very easy to get into. The controls are intuitive. Drifting is very easy. The stats for every vehicle in the game have merit and worth. Every character's weight class and feel is every character feels different. Even characters within the same weight class have minor differences that make them different. They can all be on the same vehicle, and all of them will drive differently due to the characters in innate class, which is the one thing that you can't figure out just from playing the game. Just from stats, looking at stats. The only way you'll figure out how each character drives in the game is by playing as that character. And once you get a feel for it, you'll discover that a character that you thought you wouldn't be good at, you destroy with. Like, I did not know I would be good with Bowser. I kill with Bowser. So, you know, you have to play with all the characters. If you want to get all the stamps, you're going to have to do this anyway, so now you know. That being said, there's a few issues that I'll get into in the bad that are just minor nitpicks on my part. But in general, the game is very, very accessible. You know, it's easy to get into, yet hard to master. But once you get better at it and you figure out how things work, the game gets a lot easier. So overall, the gameplay is top notch. It's easy to get into, it's easy to pick up and play, and yet there's plenty of room for mastery of various skills and abilities, which makes this into an excellent game, you know, for someone like me who hasn't really invested a huge amount of time into Mario Kart since the Double Dash game on the GameCube. You know, this is truly awe-inspiring that now I have, you know, I can get into this one, and it's like I never left. I mean, aside from the anti-gravity, which adds a new spin, which I'll get into, a new gameplay spin. Basically, normally you don't want to crash into people unless you're a heavy character, then you knock people out the way. But in anti-grav, it actually helps to crash into people and to certain bumper environmental hazards, because they aren't hazards in anti-grav mode, they actually cause you to boost and get faster. So that's pretty cool, a spin boost. So, I mean, it's nice. So now we'll get into the bad. So now we'll get into the bad. My minor nitpicks. The AI in this game, especially in the 150 cc's, is cheap. Now, I don't mean like they will send a red shell or a blue shell up your tailpipe when you're about to win, right across the finish line. No, 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 no. That's just opportunism. I'm talking about you can hit every single boost, drift your ass off, and get all types of boosts, and still have these AI characters be literally just almost dead in your ass. So basically, once you get into the higher levels of racing in this game, you have to constantly be playing offense and defense, and plan things out. Now, you know, I've gotten partial to using characters who are like that a lot myself, so, and that's helped. But, I mean, if you don't like characters like that, if you don't like playing, if you aren't used to racers like Mario Kart, you'll find that the AI can be a little douchey, for lack of a better word. Also, so the rubber banding has returned. It's not as bad as it was in Mario Kart DS or Wii, but it's still there, and it kind of, I mean, you know, if you're racing well, you should be increasing your lead, not just barely holding on to it. But I guess they want to increase that level of challenge or whatever, so they make the AI kind of cheap. That's my only real nitpick. And that's not really that serious. So without further ado, we'll move on to the ugly, the graphics. Okay then, now for the ugly. Now, I say this in all seriousness. When I discovered that this game dipped to 59 frames per second, I almost had to cancel my pre-order. And, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't hold. I'm joking. This game is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I wanted to enjoy this game in full power and full graphical splendor. So I moved my Wii from my bedroom down to my man cave to my big ass floor model plasma display Philips television, and I can tell you right now, it doesn't do 1080 progressive, it does 1080 interlaced, but I mean, hell, I can barely tell the difference. So 1080p or 1080 interlaced and progressive interlaced up-res from 720p. And I can tell you, this game is friggin' gorgeous. It's just friggin' gorgeous. I mean, the game looks great. The game looks just friggin' beautiful, and it's buttery smooth. It's buttery smooth. You will not play. This game is truly next gen. Like, if you hear people always talking about, man, those graphics aren't next gen. Those graphics aren't next gen. This game is next gen. This game is friggin' gorgeous. It is, and this is coming from someone who played the Mario Kart 8 demo last year, and the shit looked great then. Like, if they just kept those graphics then, I would have been like, this is pretty good. But they continuously made them look better. And you can tell because the graphics in this game are just awesome. I mean, they're awesome. And you get graphics of this level, music, the soundtrack in this game is awesome. Now remember, I haven't been playing Mario Kart extensively during the Wii or DS stage. So, you know, the last one I owned was the GameCube one. I played Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart DS, but like for small stretches, like 1 or 2 tracks, you know, maybe 2 or 3 characters. but this is the first one I've owned like properly since the GameCube. And I can tell you right now that the music in this game is just, it's never sounds so smooth. I mean, and the music is a nice, is a nice fusion, okay? Like the Electrodome music is very jazzy and funky. The Grumble Bump volcano music sounds very Arabian almost, like kind of with a sitar and a few strings of Eastern descent. I mean, it's a very, the music goes very well with the tracks, and you know, it just, the game overall just its presentation is top notch, okay. And the thing is like Mario Kart 8, its presentation is top notch, but all of Nintendo's games have this level of presentation. Generally speaking, they all have a level of polish that you just don't get from a lot of third parties, and you can tell this is why Nintendo is the king of the first party IP, because they do shit like this with their first party IPs. So we'll get into the tips and tricks and my final thoughts after the cut. Here's a quick addendum. I've forgotten an entire section because I've been playing this game so much. You know, like literally, I downloaded it Friday. I went to work Saturday and Sunday, and then I got home. I recorded a podcast Saturday, and then I started playing that game. Like as soon as after I get finished with doing my homework, doing whatever else I want to do, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm playing this game, and my brain is almost fried. So I forgot another section. The multiplayer. Oh boy. The multiplayer of Mario Kart 8 is head and shoulders better than Mario Kart Wii. At least the online multiplayer. The online multiplayer, it's head and shoulders above Mario Kart Wii. Or even DS. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, you can only chat with your friends in the lobbies, and it has to be people that were initially invited. If they join later on, you can't talk to them, all that. Look, listen, okay? I feel your pain, but you know what? Compared to what Nintendo's multiplayer used to be for Mario Kart and what it is now, Nintendo has started to move in the right direction on online multiplayer. The local multiplayer is just as good as it's always been. I invited my girlfriend and two of her friends to my house yesterday. We played 4-player multiplayer, and you know, it's, you know, Nintendo is the king of the 4-player multiplayer experience, so I mean, it's still really friggin' good. The only thing is that if you don't have a robust friend list like me, you'll discover that you know, just jumping into people's games online, sometimes it takes a little bit for a race to start, but I mean, it's still relatively seamless, and so, you know, I don't see what the big issue is. I've been hearing a few people bitch about it, but for those people, just stop bitching. Just stop bitching, okay? Look, listen, okay? I tutor. I volunteer. I tutor. I volunteer. I volunteer tutor, okay? I can't, like, even if a kid is not doing as best as they can, if they're trying their best, if they put forth a solid effort, I can't get mad at them. And you can say whatever you want to about Nintendo with Mario Kart 8. Well, I can't do... They put forth a solid effort with this game, okay? And you can tell they put forth a solid effort on the online features. And they're doing something that you can't do on any other console, which is Mario Kart TV, which is a new and additional aspect to the game that really adds a layer of depth to Mario Kart that you've just... I've never seen anything like this from anything else. Like, normally, if you wanted to record something, you'd either had to have a capture card, or it was online and like you had to use special things and press a weird button. I mean, now it's simple. It records your race. You can record the whole damn thing, which goes straight to Mario Kart TV regardless. Or you can record 15, 30, 45, or 60 seconds of your race and put the thing on your YouTube account through Google. I mean, that is friggin' brilliant. I mean, that is brilliant. And believe me, the sheer amount of Mario Kart 8 minute-long clips I've been seeing on YouTube from various people that I subscribe to, it's a no-brainer, you know. But you know, the fact that Nintendo has innovated yet again, and trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if in Forza 2 they'll on the Xbox and the new Gran Turismo, they steal this and call it something else. Well, you can stream it on YouTube directly through here, you know. And people will say, it's brilliant that Microsoft and Sony did this. And they won't mention that Nintendo did it first, because Nintendo never gets credit for jack. Okay, now that I've gotten that out the way, we'll get to the tips and tricks and my final thoughts of this game. Okay then, now it's time for tips and tricks and my final thoughts. These are just 3 tips that have really worked for me, and I'm going to share them with you. If you already know this, well, okay then. If you don't, well, this might help you. I call them ABB, ABD, and the power of the left Z trigger. Okay. ABB is always be boosting, ABD is always be drifting, and the power of the L trigger is very simple. Basically, always be boosting. Always look for a chance to be getting a boost. If this is a drift boost, or a drafting boost, or a trick boost, or a jump boost, always be boosting, okay? Always, whenever you see a curve, always try and get a drift. And if you know it's a curve that's kind of close, or you can cut into the inner line, try and cut it as close as you can and drift. Try and build up at least a blue boost, but if you're really aiming for some speed, an orange boost. And finally, the L trigger, as you know, can fire your weapons forward or backwards. But if you just hold it, if you have a single solitary weapon that isn't like a special use weapon like the piranha plant or something like that, or the boomerang, you'll trail it behind you, which gives you some defensive protection against red shells or people hitting you from behind. It works. It's very useful for keeping dudes for defensive purposes, because sometimes you need that. Now on to my final thoughts about this game. This title is really friggin' good. It's definitely a must-buy. I don't give numerical scores, but I would say that this is the beginning of the Wii U's the Wii U's boots marching to victory, or at least lots of money for Nintendo this year. There's going to be a lot of money going to Nintendo if split between the Wii U and the 3DS. They're going to be printing money, and you know, I can't get mad at them. I ain't hating. So those are my final thoughts. I have one thing to add. I completely forgot. I used the wrong set of questions during my podcast. I will make a separate video answering your questions myself. There weren't that many questions, so it's not going to take me that long to write them to you guys. And without that, I bid you adieu.